Polynomial functions. A polynomial function is any function that can be written on the form given what you see on the screen right now. Now, some important aspects about what you see on the screen. N must be an integer. The lead coefficient, which we call A naught, does not equal 0. It's very important that all of the other a's, A1, A2 through AN, can all equal 0, just not the lead coefficient. I'm going to give you some examples of a polynomial function that you should be pretty familiar with. So, every one of the terms in a polynomial function is a power function. It's either even or odd power function, except for possibly the very last term, which would just be a constant. You've seen some of these. This is a polynomial function. Poly basically means more than one term. Well, poly means more than one. But for it to be a polynomial, every one of those terms is either a power function or a constant. So notice, this term is a power function, that term is a power function, this is a constant. Now, this is a parabola. We would describe it in polyfunction form as a second degree poly. It's a second degree because the highest integer exponent is a 2. And what makes a parabola is that I have a lead coefficient who has an exponent of 2 if it's written this way. But notice, this is also a polynomial function. It has more than one term. All of my terms are either power functions with integer exponents or constants. And it's also still a parabola. It's a parabola because the highest degree of all of the exponent is a 2, and that's what makes a parabola a parabola. So with a polynomial function, what we're most concerned about is the highest degree of any of the exponents. That determines that this is a second degree polynomial. Another example. Generally, we like to write polynomials with the exponents in descending order. It's easiest to identify what type of polynomial it is. Because when I have my exponents from largest to smallest to the constant in the rear, if there is a constant, it's easiest to identify the type of polynomial function. This polynomial is going to be called a fifth degree. Getting dyslexic this morning. Fifth degree polynomial. Everyone okay with this? Now, some equations that are not polynomial. If I take a look at something like this. This is not a polynomial function. Because the denominator cannot be split up into individual objects, this is not a polynomial. is possible to rewrite this as a polynomial function. Because if I have addition and subtraction in the numerator, I can split this. Into individual terms, and I can reduce each one of these individual terms. And this is a polynomial with a power function and a constant. More than one term makes it polynomial. Let's take a look at this object. This object is two power functions being added together. The first one's a power function as well. However, this is not a polynomial function because my first power function does not have an integer for an exponent. So this is not a polynomial function.